Fighting continues in Gaza Strip 6 days after Hamas attacked Israel.
Thousands have been killed. This is just the latest chapter in a long conflict between Israelis and Palestinians. Our own Jake Force talked to an expert today on the topic and has more. Jake?
Yeah, Dan, Jessica, after World War II, a country around Jerusalem was created as a home for Jewish people. The problem was there was already people living there, the Palestinians. Decades and decades of conflict have ensued. And so today I spoke to a longtime political science professor to learn more about the conflict and the ripple effects here in Wisconsin.
There's people who live in central Wisconsin who have relatives in Israel.
Ed Miller worked for nearly 50 years as a professor of political science at UW-Stevens Point. He says that while Israel and Palestine had been working toward a two-state solution, last Saturday's attack by Hamas, who controls Gaza, into Israel will complicate that solution and could severely backfire on Palestine.
By Hamas going in off of Gaza, which was given back, some people are reconsidering whether this should be done to the West Bank, saying, well, if we're moving to a two-state solution, maybe we should slow up that.
Israel ordered the entire population of Gaza to evacuate south, a warning that leaves 1 million people to decide whether to abandon their homes if they even can. Miller said this task is impossible.
Gaza is extremely crowded. Half the population, I think, is children in Gaza. And when you have them very, very crowded, and then basically they can't move, you have this difficult situation.
The Israeli military has been conducting localized raids on the ground in the Gaza Strip to attack Hamas and locate hostages. Miller said Israel is hesitant of a full ground war because Hamas has around 150 Israeli hostages and because the Gaza population is so concentrated.
If it's a ground war and they go in, they've got the problem of the hostages and they've got the problem of the civilian population. So they sent leaflets down and told them to leave. Exactly where they're going to go is the issue.
Here in Wisconsin, Miller encourages people to be vigilant for hate speech, whether Islamophobic or anti-Semitic, as earlier this year, anti-Semitic flyers were distributed in a Wausau neighborhood.
Most notably in Wausau, in which there was a panel on that just 2 weeks ago. It's also occurred, I know, in Marshfield, where people have given out anti-Semitic leaflets. So all this occurred before the war. So there's a greater concern all over the country.
That was Jake Force reporting.